Welcome back to the Unsweetened Truth Podcast. My name is Kristen Pucci. On today's episode, we're talking about a whole group of things, okay? We're talking about friendships. We're talking about decisions. We're talking about life choices. We're talking about jealousy. We're talking about envy. We're talking about auditing our lives. And at the end of the day, we're talking about really being able to self-reflect and look at ourselves and become better. This podcast is for the people that probably aren't going to listen to it. Okay. This is the podcast that's going to be very good for those that are stuck, unmotivated, miserable, wallowing in the mud, and those with victim mindset. This podcast is for you. So if you just want to take a few minutes and change your life, you're welcome to listen to this episode. I know it will change your life. And this is the Unsweetened Truth Podcast. This podcast is for the things that people don't talk about, the lessons that push you forward, the challenges that almost take you out, and the choices that shape your life. Leadership, work, life, and everything in between. Like hanging out with your big sister and best friend, who also happens to be a boss. Let's talk, grow, and figure it out together. But I want to talk about my experience with friendship. And that's but it's specific to my story and how I have prioritized personal and professional development for a majority of my life and how that has affected both positively and negatively my friendships. And I want to talk about this because I don't think a lot of people do talk about it. In regards to what that looks like when you are actively becoming a better and new version of yourself every year, every couple of years, and how that can potentially impact you as a person in regards to your relationships, right? So your friendships, your family, things like that. So I just want to give a little backstory on me before we get started, just so you can get a sense of what I'm talking about and why I'm talking about this. So I grew up with two brothers. I was the middle child between two boys, and they were my friends growing up. They were my absolute best friends. And it's funny how even in like a family dynamic, I was very different than both of my brothers. My older brother was very, very smart. My younger brother was very smart. Both my parents were very smart. And I don't want to say that I wasn't smart, but I was a different type of smart. They were very book smart, like they're doctors and engineers and all of that. I was very common sense smart. Naturally, even in childhood growing up, there was a competitiveness between the children because we were different. I was the athlete. I was winning championships from an athlete perspective. They were winning spelling bees and math competitions, right? Like we were just different people. And I think that's interesting how then, translates through that. You get to sports, right? So I was very active in sports. I played basketball, field hockey, softball. I also did like track for a short period of time, danced competitively. I loved sports. That was my thing. And how you start building some of your first friendships through hobbies and sports and different things like that. So for mine, it was sports. I had a very fast track to becoming the leader of many of those teams. What is the word that I'm thinking of? The captain, thank you. Captain of many of my sports teams. And I had experienced, even just at a very, very young age, I played the same position as the coach's daughter. You can imagine how that translates to my sports experience. So this theme of constant professional and personal development leading to positive and negative things of my life is very interesting. So I navigate sports, right? And it was incredibly challenging. Like I loved sports, and your goal when you are an athlete is to be good, right? And you are on a team and you're pushing each other to become better. I was naturally in the leadership roles. However, there's people who are only focused on themselves and they're not focused on the team, which can also translate to a lot of different things in adulthood. So I learned very early on, just in regards to betrayal or people disliking you for becoming better because it highlights their lack. I have been experiencing these things ever since I was single digit ages. Okay. Now you get from sports to then you go through school, then you become a young adult. You start creating your own friendships, and like maybe you go through college and some people win some things and other people wins other things. I could see how this podcast is also probably going to very closely tie into like jealousy and competitiveness amongst friendships. I could see how this is going to relate to that, but we're just going to keep talking and see where it goes. But so then you get into college, right? You get into high school, you're navigating sports, you're navigating school. Then people are starting to date, right? People are starting to date in high school. And now there's this competitiveness for being the most attractive person, the skinniest person, the best at this sport, the best in this class, and navigating those emotions that could be negative, that could impact somebody because maybe their name's not getting called, their name's not. And mind you guys, I was not always the winner, okay? I was not always the winner. There were times in college I had never won an award for sports for a very, very long time. There was obviously a lot of politics involved, but I had not won an award for anything. I was getting no appreciation or recognition for any of my wins for a very long time. So then you're obviously navigating high school, then you get into college, and similar types of things to high school. There's more dating, except it's, people are like of the age that they want to start getting married and whatever. And, there's a lot of competition that just naturally happens, even amongst, just people in general, but then against each other, right? Your friendships and your closest groups. And I am very different than I was in high school. I'm very different than I was in college, and people change, right? I had very, very strong friends in high school. I had gone farther away for college, so they didn't necessarily follow me. We started to stay in touch. And when I would come home from school or they would come from school, we'd try to spend time with each other. But life happens, you get distanced, and people fall apart. But then I get into college and I make a whole new group of friends, and they fit you with where you currently are in your life right now. And what's interesting and difficult to navigate, which we're going to talk about today, is when you make choices that are different than the choices that your friends are making. So you start becoming a different person, and how that can impact you and also them. So I had lived a certain lifestyle in college. I was definitely into all of the drinking and the partying and all of the different things. Not incredibly healthy in regards to just my decisions or the ways that I was treating myself or my body or anything. And so I got to a point right after college that I didn't want to feel like this anymore. I didn't want to live like this anymore. I didn't want to experience this anymore. And I mean, I myself had an incredible interaction with God. That's what happened with me, which then forced is the wrong word. I chose to make different decisions for myself. I had gotten into a really bad situation at work, and I just was like, I don't know how or what it is about me, right? Because we fall into this trap that we attract certain types of people or navigate certain types of people. Not the case. But I was like, what is it about me that's getting me into situations like this? And at the end of the day, I chose to make changes. And that's where I would say the beginning of my personal and professional development journey really, really started. I got into therapy. I got into counseling. I got very involved in my faith. I started, and then like a couple years later, I started figuring out that like I don't feel very good. I was very sick. I was very unhealthy, guys. Like the hair that people always give me compliments and things like that for, it did not look like this years ago. My hair was like falling out. My nails were cracking. I was completely broken out. I have made choices in regards to like very disciplined with food and eating and supplements and lifestyle and, alcohol consumption and whatever it is, to make myself better. And you know what I found throughout that process is that not a lot of people are happy for you. And when we're getting back to this, when talking about friendships, I'm going to unpack with you guys what you need to look for good friendships and be looking out for in regards to bad friendships. I have a lot of very good friends. Actually, not a lot. I have a specific group of good friends. And I like my core group of friends. But what you guys will come to find if you choose to be different and you choose professional development or personal development, people are not going to be happy for you. And there's a couple reasons why that happens. One, let's just break it down. Let's say it's from like a physical perspective. Let's say you decide I'm going to go lose a bunch of weight. I want to grow my hair out. I want to really work on my skincare. I really want to work on my health. I really want to work on my wellness. There's one piece from the jealousy aspect that people are like, okay, you look even better now. You look good. You are more attractive than I am. That's something that happens. The other thing that happens is that it highlights the work that they are not willing to put in. No one is going to give you criticism that is in a better spot than you are, okay? So people that, again, just talking about from like a physical glow up standpoint, nobody who is doing that work that knows how hard it is to get up and work out or go for a walk or eat the way that you have to eat or take the supplements that you take or this regimented lifestyle, this disciplined lifestyle, nobody who is living that is looking at someone who's starting that or trying to do that and being critical of them and being negative towards them and disliking them. It's the people that aren't that do. They are the ones that struggle with it. They're the ones that have something to say. They're the ones that are going to be critical. Those people are the people that are living in cages and they want you to live in a cage. And so that's from a personal standpoint. Let's say from therapy. Let's say you start going to therapy and you start seeking understanding, healing, peace, whatever it is to be able to process. Could be friends, family, yourself, your own stuff, whatever it is. You start acting different. You start behaving different. You start viewing things in a different way. When other people don't do that with you, they get mad at you. You don't play the games that you used to play. You don't have the reactions that you used to have. You have boundaries now in places that they used to be able to take advantage of you and they can't. And for a long time, I would interpret this as something being wrong with me versus me recognizing what it is right now that we're talking about. There is such a jealousy epidemic amongst friendships, amongst families, and it's really a shame. And there's such a lack of empathy. There's such a lack of sympathy because we perceive that these people that are doing things that are difficult and that are hard or different than us, that they don't need it. I've made videos on this and it's amazing. And it's such the celebrity type thing that happens, like a celebrity has something horrible happen to them. And the everyday general public will be like, good. Or I'm happy that happened. Or, well, they can pay for it. They can handle it. So they'll be fine. We have this perception and this flawed perception that this person is not human, that they don't have human feelings or human thoughts because they have money. Oh, well, everything's going well for them because they are beautiful. I don't know where that's coming from. But I'm talking about it. I want to talk about it. So when we're talking about friendship, and if you are someone on this track that you want professional and personal development, your friend groups are going to change. The people that are going to be around you are going to change. And when you change, the people that you used to hang out with are not going to necessarily be happy for you that you're leaving them behind. So they're now most likely, in my experience, going to be the people that at one period of time were your biggest supporter because they enabled you in the behaviors and the things that you were doing. Now they're going to be your worst enemies. And I know this could sound a little bit negative, but I just want you to know what could happen and what probably will happen when you seek to be better, when you try to grow. Let's talk about from a professional development standpoint. Let's say you want to get a coach. You want to go for a promotion. You want to start your own company. There's a lot of people with dreams and aspirations that they are too scared to accomplish. They are too scared to go after. When you do that and you make those choices and you go after them, they're going to hate you for doing that. They're going to project on you. They have dreams that they are not brave enough to go after, and you are highlighting what they are scared to go after. You are doing what they wish that they could, but they are not. You could potentially, again, perceive this as just not being liked, people not liking you, people, what's wrong with you? That's not what it is. Again, it's going back to this jealousy, this dislike, this hatred for other people that, truthfully, guys, and I made a video on this the other day as well, and I think I wrote something, is that when somebody comes into your life that is what you want to become, or that you perceive them as being in a better place than you are or where you want to be, you have two options. One, you could look at them and go, "Ugh, who does this person think that they are? And they think they're better than everybody, and they think they're this and they think they're that and whatever." Or you could look at them and go, wow, look at what's possible. Look at what's possible. Look at other people are showing you what's possible. There's not someone who has more favor than somebody else. They're showing you what's possible, what's capable, what you can accomplish. But unfortunately, too many of us sit in this place of focus on ourselves and this focus on this scarcity mindset, this lack. And that's not the truth. That's a lie that you're believing. There's nobody in the way of you accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Let's go back to just the physical standpoint. Let's talk about that. And I'm somebody who struggled very much so. When I got out of sports, I've struggled to prioritize physical, like, I don't want to say well-being, but like working out, being athletic again. I have struggled since I have gotten out of sports to have a consistent workout routine. That's an area for me that I have a level of weakness. And so I have seen myself in the past look at other women or look at people and be like, oh my gosh, you are so much fitter than I am. You look so much better than I am. And like, look at me and look at you and look at whatever. I am the only person in the way of me being able to attain what I'm looking at and that I want. Those people aren't better than me. They're making choices that I'm not. They're making choices that you're not. They're choosing to wake up at 6:30 in the morning or go to the gym later in the day. They're choosing to eat healthier options. They're choosing to walk when you're choosing to scroll. They're choosing to go to the gym when you're choosing to sit on the couch. It's choices. And instead of us getting here and being like, oh my gosh, wow, look at the motivation. What did they do? How can I learn from them? Because that's what I want to accomplish. We go, I hate them. I dislike them. But that is just such a top level emotion. Below it is jealousy, insecurity. They are showing you what is possible. Anybody out there in the world, somebody who is a multimillionaire, they own lots of businesses, or somebody who is married and they find their soulmate or whatever, they're showing you what is possible. They're showing you what is out there. We as a society have to stop looking at people who have what we don't have as a threat and as something negative when it should be positive. Your best friend falls in love. They're younger than you. This is a very real thing. A lot of my friends are younger than me. Some of my friends are older than me. They're getting married before I am. It happens in sibling dynamics. Younger siblings get married before older siblings. That's a huge opportunity for jealousy right there. Or you could look at it and go, wow, I am so happy for that person. Look at what is out there. Look at the incredible person that they found. I know that if I make the right choices and do the right things, that my person is out there too. We have to stop with that first thought and that first place that our mind goes, that it's dislike of that person, hate of the person, drama, wanting to talk about them. We have to challenge ourselves to not do that. It's destroying your ability to build friendships and relationships, an authentic connection with people. It's affecting your career. If you spent half the time that you worry about Janice down the hall that's hitting all of her sales goals or her sales numbers, or she just got promoted, if you spent less time focused on her and more time focused on you and what professional education you could get, what skills, what could I learn, what could I do, what could I change, I guarantee you'd be where she is, or you'd be somewhere else, because there's enough space for Janice to be in that role and there's enough space for you to be in it too. I'm finding that this podcast isn't maybe so much about friendships. I think friendships maybe just started the whole thing. I think it's about maybe like mental head trash and jealousy and the traps that we fall in of hatred for others when really we should be looking at it another way. You are the only person that is in the way of you becoming what you want to become. Your thoughts, your patterns, your choices. That's it. You can accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. You can become anything that you want to become. You're usually your largest obstacle. Your thoughts, your opinions, your choices, your decisions, you're in your way. Don't hate the people that are making choices that you're not, which I guess could lead me back to friendships. I've struggled with friendships a lot over my entire life, but specifically since I've started my company. And I would bet, and I'm sure some of them listen to my podcasts, you don't interact, you don't like it, you don't subscribe, but I'm sure you listen to every single episode. Here's what I don't understand. I do understand, but I don't understand it. I have chosen for myself the path that I've gone with my career. I have chosen for myself the path that I've had to go emotionally, spiritually, physically, and all of the above. It takes a lot to have to show up as who I am every single day, to lead a team. Like, it's not just, it's a physical process, it's an emotional process, it's a spiritual process. There's so much that goes in regards to just leading a team and building a business and whatever. If you don't have a business, you don't know what I'm talking about. But those of you that do have business, you do know what I'm talking about. There's so much that goes into it. You don't have a successful business. You do not become successful simply because you maybe have pretty privilege or because you slept your way to the top. Okay? That's not how successful people come. That's how not successful people want to blame it on successful people so that way they cannot have accountability as to why they are where they are. They're successful because of their choices. There are things that I am so disciplined in, and there's things that I will always choose to do and never choose to do. For example, something as small as my meals. I was talking with somebody the other day that how food prepping, they're like, wow, when did you start doing this? I'm like, I don't remember a time I wasn't doing this. It is a specific disciplined action that I do every single weekend to set myself up for success, being who I have to be throughout the week. I don't want to have to go with decision fatigue and look at my fridge and go, what am I going to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Okay, I am rushing in between one eating and another, so I'll just eat something out of convenience, and then convenience is unhealthy. People don't want to make that choice. They want to eat whatever they want and they want to do whatever they want, and they just want, and then they don't understand why they're in the situation that they're in. You want to hang out with a bunch of people that party all weekend, sleep in till, 8:30, 8:45, roll out of bed, roll into work at 9, after work, go out for happy hour and drinks, screw off and do whatever. And you want to know why when you show up to work in the morning, you aren't your best person? You aren't succeeding in your job? You aren't attaining your goals? You want to be in a healthy relationship. You want to hate the people that are in healthy and beautiful, loving relationships, except you don't want to put in the work for yourself to have to become what you need to be. You want to be with somebody who's incredible and you're not incredible. And the reason you're not incredible is because you're not making the choices. You're not becoming the person that you would need to be with the person that you want to be with. You have to make choices, guys. And we need to stop hating people for making choices that are the choices we should be making, but we're not making them. Inner circles. When you are choosing this life for yourself, And doesn't have to be career. I want to be clear. This is like you guys are making decisions as an individual person that you want to be better in some sort of category. This is the steps of things that is going to happen next. These people that you used to hang out with, that used to be in this group with you the way that you are, if they are not secure, if they are not good people, they are going to hate you for moving into this next better form of who you are. And those people are going to be the closest people to you. They might be within your friend group. They might be within your family group. They might be in your close professional group. When you trigger someone's insecurities, when they're an insecure person, that's some advice I'm going to give you guys. You can't be friends with people that are insecure. And I'm not talking about people that just have insecurities. I'm talking about people that are fundamentally insecure. They hate themselves. People that hate themselves. They don't think they have anything going for them. Woe is me, victim mindset. Do not try to save those people. You are not anyone's savior. They can save themselves and Jesus Christ himself. That is the only saviors that exist. Not your job to save them. But they are going to be your biggest enemy in going through this process. People that are jealous of you, and you'll hear it, you'll see it. People tell on themselves, you just need to pay attention enough. And it can happen at the flip of a switch. They could see something, hear something. Some people even, this is a time that it happens amongst friends. If it's not a true, strong friendship, when one friend is in the middle of like a really tough season and the other friend is in a really great season, that's how real friendships are tested. That's how you tell if you're actually good for each other. Because that person who's in a really tough season could very easily start hating the other person because they don't understand what it's like to be low. They don't get what it's like to not be in a relationship. They don't get what it's like to not have a job right now. They don't get what it's like to live at home. They don't get what it's like to have to change the things that you have to do. What are you talking about? That person, they've never been through anything difficult? Anybody doing anything worth a damn and has gone through difficult things. They have been tested and trialed more than people that are sitting in the mud all the time. You have not been tested and trialed. Go try to do something great. Go try to be different. Go try to be better. That's when you're going to get tested. When you sit in this place of woe is me and worrisome and victimhood, you're not being tested. You're sitting there. You're not doing anything. So when we're talking about friendships, you need a small circle. They talk about that all the time. You can have like 100 pennies, you can have 4 quarters. I want 4 quarters. People of value, people of good quality. That's what I'm looking for, to be around me in my inner circle. I want the friends that when I'm going through something low and they go through something high, I know that I can love them and support them and care for them. And I know that if it's flipped, they will do the same. I know, because we've navigated this within our own friend groups. Some of us are in relationships, some of us are not. There's times that, of course, you could be like, oh, they're so in love. When can I have that for me? It's coming. It's coming. But you're not on the same track. You're not on the same timeline. You're not on the same plan. That's okay. That's good. That's life. But we have to get outside of ourselves, guys, instead of going, oh, my friend has something that I don't. Get your envy in check. They're your friend. And if you don't know how to be a good friend, then don't even try to fake it. Get away from those people. If you don't know how to become a good friend, you need to figure out how. Maybe that's an episode that we need to do. You figured out that you're self-aware enough to recognize I'm not a good friend, and here's the steps that you could go through to become a good friend. Maybe that's a good podcast that we could do. You realize you're a shitty friend. I don't feel very good about myself. My self-worth in the hole. I'm jealous. I'm full of envy. I actually like that. I think we should do an episode about that. We're going to pull you out of the mud. But I can't tell you how many friendships of mine have been ruined. Again, I just made another video about this. Have been ruined from having the tough conversations, from going through pressure, That's when the best relationships are formed, guys. If your friendship with a friend or a family member or your relationship, whatever it may be, if it cannot handle having very honest conversations about beliefs, morals, values, differences, expectations, challenges, you name it, it is not a stable enough relationship to get through anything. And that's not your friend. And that's not the relationship you should be in. You want people, and they exist. I know it because I've lived it, and I've lived both sides, guys. I have looked someone who is my friend dead in the eye, sitting on this couch, and they said to me all these great and incredible and wonderful things, and I've changed their life in so many different ways. 5 days later, they're betraying me. I've been there. I've had the tough conversations. I've had the conversations with friends that they are starting to be dishonest, and I start questioning them and say, hey, like I've noticed from my place of care going, hey, something's different. Are you okay? I'm noticing that you're saying one thing and you're doing something else, but now I'm the problem because I called it out. No. We need to stop believing that these people that enable us to stay where we are actually the people that love us. And I see it because I witness it with my employees, with my friends, with myself. I see it in how they have to navigate it with other people. I'm telling you, and I want to scream it from the rooftops, the people that enable you doing toxic behaviors and keeping you where you are not the people that love you. It's the people that challenge you. It's the people that question. It's the people that push you. It's the people that go, hey, you're not your best self right now. This is not who you are. Those are the people that love you. The people that push. Oh, you say you're okay? You don't seem like you're okay. Are you sure about that? They're not doing it to be invasive. Some are. There's definitely people that are just trying to do it to be curious, for sure. But the people that are ride or die friends, they're looking you dead in the eye and going, you are the reason you are stuck right now. It's the choices you are making. It is because you want people to feel bad for you, and I'm not going to feel bad for you because I care too much about you. I could sit here and I could feel bad for you and we could wallow. And I've had friends like this. I have had friends like this that have said to me, I want to sit, like, why can't you just console me? Because I'm not going to console you. You made a bad decision and now you're dealing with the consequences of your actions. You want me to sit in the corner with you and say, hey, it's going to be okay. No. Does that mean that I lack empathy and sympathy? Absolutely not. But you make a choice. You have to be able to handle the consequence. And then when you don't like the consequence, instead of going, I need to be the victim, you go, maybe I shouldn't make that choice again. I need everyone to wake up. Please wake up. We need to stop having this mindset of like, oh, I want to help someone, but only to so far. I want someone to be good, but only so far, because then if it's past that, then they'll be better than me. No, we need to be abundant and flowing. And there's so much to go around. No one's attractiveness takes away from your ability to be attractive. No one's wealthiness is taking away your ability to be wealthy. No one's, because they have $1 doesn't mean that's $1 out of your pocket. Just because somebody got a promotion doesn't mean that you are out of luck for every promotion forever. Look at them and go, wow, what are they doing? They're becoming and being where I want to go and what I want to be. How do I take notes? What do I take and what do I throw out? Not, oh my gosh, they stole it from me. No. And I know this because everyone is hurting. Everyone is hurting so much. There is such an epidemic of lack of self-worth and lack of confidence and lack of care and just lack of identity. There's so much of that going on in the world right now. That's not the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to help each other and love each other and boost each other up and cheer each other on. And a lot of you are not going to win because you simply don't clap for other people. It's never going to be your turn because you are constantly in this mindset that everyone else is stealing your glory. If you were that good, it would be your glory, but you're not, because you're living in this place of negativity and jealousy and envy and copying other people and whatever. Stop copying what other people do and then try to make it seem like you're their competition. You have your own skills. You have your own talents. Figure out what they are and be authentic and true to yourself. That is how you're going to be successful. That's how you're going to find your best friends. Being authentic and true and fully vulnerable and having the right conversations and speaking your truth and talking about what you like and talking about what you don't like. Everyone is so scared to be themselves, be their true selves because it was rejected at some period of time. We're cooking up a whole bunch of categories in this podcast today. We're just going to call this the Mutt. This is the Mutt podcast because I'm just talking. And it's okay if I'm triggering some of you right now. If some of you shut off the podcast already, sorry. Some of you that are still listening and you go, you know what, Kristen, you're kind of talking to me right now. It's okay. You can get out of this. But write down, let's audit ourselves from tip to toe. Who are the people that we're jealous of? Who are the people we're envious of? What do they have? What do I want? Look at it. Figure it out. Write it down. This girl is super fit. What are the choices she's making to become that way? And how are they differing from mine? This girl is so beautiful and I find her to be so beautiful. What are the choices that she's making that are different than mine? This person is incredibly successful. They're doing really hard things. What are the things that they're doing that's different than the choices that I'm making? Audit yourself. Use people that trigger you, that you're jealous of and you're envious of as an opportunity to reflect. Why? What do they have that I want? And why do I want it? And why don't I have it? Choices. It's all it comes down to. But audit yourself. You can get out of the situation that you're in right. You can be whatever you want. You can drastically change your appearance. You can drastically change your career. You can pivot from one day to the next. You can do anything. No one is stuck. You're not stuck and they're not better than you or had been given extra cards than this and that. Choices. That's what they're focusing on. It's their priorities. It's where they're spending their time. Look at where you spend your time. What does your day look like? What do you prioritize? Look at your calendar. Look at your calendar. Who are you meeting with? What are you doing? Where are you spending your time? What's your screen time at? And I'm guilty of this. My screen time is out of control. That's why I know that I can never make the excuse of like why I'm not working out is because I don't have time. Absolutely not. I have plenty of time. It's a me thing. It's a me thing. Why am I not doing this or spending my time reading my Bible or whatever? It's a me thing. I have time. What is your priorities? Look at your priorities. Look at where you're spending all your money and look at where you're spending your time. Go. Look at your bank account. Look at your credit card statement. Where are you spending all of your money? That's your priority. You don't have any money? That's very possible. Maybe there's a disconnect with what you're spending and what you're taking in. But you want to look at what you value. Look at your credit card. Look at your calendar. Period. The end. Look at those two things. And then, if you're feeling crazy, throw that into ChatGPT and go, this is the type of person I want to become. What are the behaviors I have to do to be that? Bet you it's different than what you're doing right now. I had a conversation like that with a friend I'm not friends with anymore, but we had a conversation like that before. She's just like, I'm just stuck in this spiral of depression and anxiety and this and that. And I'm like, okay, what does your day look like? I said, this is what we're going to work together on something. I said, I'm just curious what this will say. We threw it into ChatGPT. I believe we threw it into chat. And I said, I want you to ask chat, what are behaviors of depressed and anxiety ridden people? Hit enter. Gave her a whole list. I said, okay, now I want you to ask chat behaviors of happy, secure, and joy-filled people. Hit enter. Came out with a whole list. Look at the difference. And I know I've made videos on this as well. The times that I have been most disconnected from myself, I have felt the most anxious and miserable and whatever was because I was so disconnected from who I was supposed to be, what I genuinely liked, and who I really was. And I guarantee that that's the case for you as well, which then translates back into this whole thing as to why we hate other people for living and being their true authentic selves, because it's just a signal to you that you are not. I hope that this was interesting today. And I know we started on friendship and then we got into jealousy and then we got into life. I don't know what we're going to call it or whatever. And that really honestly doesn't matter. but I know that there were some interesting pieces in here, and I'm hopeful that you took something away. I'm hopeful that this made you look at yourself. I hope that this podcast triggered you. I hope that it maybe made you a little bit upset. I hope that it maybe made you go, she's right. But again, if you're one of those that just shut it off because you didn't like it and you got too upset, then that's fine. It's not your time. You're not ready yet. But for the rest of you, I'm so excited for this next era of your life that is full of abundance and great relationships, emotionally and not emotionally, but new relationships from a friendship perspective and a romantic perspective. I'm excited to see how it impacts your physical health, your mental health, your careers, your life, your house, all of the above. It's choices. But please, please, please go and audit your life, go and audit your decisions, go audit your thoughts, take everything captive and look at it and go, is this true? Is this real? Is this who I am? And who do I want to become? Do that. And if you do that from this episode, I'd love for you to send me a message in a couple months, weeks, years, days, if you're really humming. Tell me about your progress. I'm really excited for you. Thank you for listening to today's episode, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week.